Let's see who my first audience is. And my first audience, right, here's my first audience. Hey, big guy. Hey, how you doing? You guys ready for the show? You're already tired of the show? You heard enough? How about you? You hanging out under the table? Yeah? Yeah, you all ready for the show? We're not sure what's going to be on tap yet. Right. We're not sure what's going to be on tap yet. I'm going to be preparing my papers. I never know what's going to be on tap. So let me see if we can do this association of numbers. Um, How can we set up what's going to go on here? How can we actually see what's going to go on here? So the first part about this is we're going to create the base. Here's the base. And in the base, we are going to go with 9 or 21, right? And if you want to go, we're going to go I, U. Okay, that's going to be our base. And on this side, we're going to go with C and O, right? Maybe we can look at this way. At the same time, we're going to get F and C on this side. I have nothing prepared this morning. I'm just taking a brief look at relationships. In fact, I don't even like this page that I created. I'm going to have to, let me white this out. For those of you who have never been here before, if you want to comment, go ahead. Oh, the orientation seems to be all wrong. Right? I'm not sure why I'm getting all this shadow here. Maybe I should just be holding the phone up, right? We hold the phone up, cancel out what I'm doing. First of all, let me turn this around. And for those of you who are here who have absolutely no idea, that's why I usually like to know who's here, see where I'm going to begin with. I haven't been here in a few days. I'm really not sure what I'm going to be starting with, right? But I'm going to be canceling out what I did. I'm going to explain to you what I do. I create equations that bring the alphabet to an alternative understanding, that brings numbers to an alternative understanding. It's amazing that there are 9 people here. This really never happened, so I'm not sure if it's true. So I see there's a vlog here. Please baye moi. I don't understand this language. Is there any other way to help me understand what you're saying? You know what? I'm just a little upside down here this morning. Okay, this is what I do. Wow. Why am I so lost? 8 people show up and I'm like, oh my God, that's more than usually. Usually it's 2 or 3. Numbers, what are they? What is number 9? What is number 8? Where does it come from? How can we associate one number to another number? I look at this as A, B, C. 1, 2, 3. This calculator over here, as you see, 1, 2, 3. It is 1 and 2 that creates 3. It's 4 and 5 that creates 9. It's 7 and 8 create 15. 1 and 5 is 6. When you go north, when you go up and down on the calculator, it's 3 and 3 equaling to 6, and 3 equaling to 9. 2 and 3 equals to 5. 5 and 3 equals to 8. 1 and 3 equals to 4. 4 and 3 equals to 7. Right now, I'm just showing you just a little bit. I really have nothing prepared. I didn't expect to have so many people here with 0 questions, and I really came here more for a question period than anything else, but I'll continue on. When you go on this angle, right, 2 over to 4, 2. 3 over to 5, 2. 5 over to 7, 2. 6 over to 8, 2. When you're running on this angle, 4 over to 8, 4. 1 over to 5, 4. 5 over to 9, 4. 2 over to 6, 4. When you're crossing this way, it's 1 over to 1. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So if you look at this down on paper, right? If we're going to look at this down on paper, let me turn this camera around. Okay, if we look at this later down on paper, what's going to happen, I'm going to draw it like this. And usually I like to show this off of games, but we're not going to get into games right now. Right? And what we have is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Everything works in 12. Right? Well, it all depends. 10, 11, 12, right? Your base creation is right over here. 1, 2 equals to 3. Now, if we use 1, 2, we can also go gold because gold is first. Silver is second. Bronze is third. Right now, I just want to share with you, right, where the numbers come from, where we can find 1, 2, and 3, what they might say. Gold is 38, silver is 85, and bronze is 80. Now, where do I find this? G7, O is the 15th letter, L is the 12th letter, and D is the 4th letter. When we add up 7 and 15 equals to 22, plus 12 equals to 34, plus 4 equals to 38. Silver, also to note that with silver, we have the S and we have the I in silver. It just so happens that M is the 13th letter, that A is the first letter, that R, you notice the way I can create, I need to have 2 areas for this, I need to have 2 areas for this. I can create this in 2 areas over here, but north and south, right? And then R is the 18th letter. S is the 19th letter. 37, 38 total of Mars is 51. Yes, everything is ironic, right? The S letter is the 19th letter, right? In between what is 1, and I'm going to be a little bit all over this right now. Like I said, when I do my videos, if you take a look over the last 20 years, there's really no order to this. In between 1 and 5 is 2, 3, and 4. Apparently, as I understood by all those, what I just do is all those who've created before speak about how 432 hertz is the earth vibration or healing vibration. H8 Z26 equaling the 34 and 18. I like to do it to the minus and to the plus, which equals to 7 and 9. Remember, these are very special numbers, these 2 numbers. These are very special numbers. We're going to go back to the gold, the silver, and the bronze. When you have first, right, and then you have second, right, when you look at this together, wouldn't you come up with the word stand? And when you stand, right, when you're standing, you stand on 17. 17 in the game of blackjack, the game of 21, in which now is going to include this cube. Also noted, what some say is the house of Kaaba. Have you ever heard that black cube, the black rock, the Mecca in the Islam, right? Islam, the beginning of Islam, signal, right? Signal testing system. This cube, we're going to get into that a little bit later. What I want to show you in this relationship over here, right, is number 38 number 85 and number 80 are all going to come to a conclusion. This is going to be 24 and 11 equals to 35. This is going to be 40 and 13 equaling to 53. And this is going to be 0 and 8 equaling to 8. If you notice, they're all in a relationship to 8. 3 and 5 is 8, 5 and 3 is 8. 8 times 0 is 8, 8 times 5 is 40, 8 plus 5 is 13, 3 times 8. Now you would say, I call this star system math, but it's not only just star system math. It's actually the perfect relationship to these cubes, right? Which are going to be standing, right, to the house, what they call the black rock. They also call it Kaaba. Even the, right, and this is the Islam, right? Remember Abraham? The first two sons of Ishmael, I think it was Raphael or Ishmael and Razel or whatever the two names, the two sons, right? One was Islamic, one was Hebrew. I think we also have, I like to start with Isaac and Jacob, the numeric value. We have to understand how there's a difference between these two names over here. We should understand these two names over here. I'm going to explain that to you in a second. So now we had gold, silver, and bronze, first, second, and third, right? And then what we had was fourth, TH. Fourth will run all the way to 20th. TH equals to 28, air equals to 28, man equals to 28. There are 4 by 7 cycles equals to 28 for the rotation of the moon. Okay, what have you never noticed before? Because I like to do this one-on-one. Actually, I like to do this with any question anybody asks. I'm just using my phone, not at home today, or for the last few days, spending my time with wherever the dogs have disappeared to. What have you never noticed before? If you give me, I wasn't watching my comments. So what we're going to do is when we get to fourth, right? And I think I should be showing you this more or less. Let me just turn this camera around, right? So when we get to fourth, right, it's T, and it's a direct expression, right? What do you want to mark T this way? Or do you want to put T this way? Or should we mark T this way, right? If you don't think, right, this has any relationship, everything was built on numbers, right? You know, when you're building something, when you're creating something, how are you working the science lab? When do you mark down? You mark down when you put the ingredients, right? Ingredient, I don't know, how do you want to spell it? Ingredient, NT, right? Is that NT? Ingredient. When you put the ingredients, you mark how much, you make your cake, and you go back and you say, not enough of this, too much of that. Now, have you already baked the cake? Or are you still making the batter and you're looking at the taste of the batter? Will the batter come out in the taste the same way the cake will come out? I don't know. Right? But I put on too much Tabasco sauce. So anyways, here's Abraham. Here's Jacob. The reverse of this one is 13. Actually, the short count of Jacob is 13, right? 1, 2, 5, 11, 12, 13. 10, 11, 14, and 15 is 29, 31. Look at Isaac. Starts out the same as Islam, right? The two A's that come together, right? Also, the same thing as Kaaba coming together. The first A shows up in the third position. In Islam, it shows up in birth. In Abraham, it shows up as the first letter in the alphabet. The A, E, and I, right, is where it's A, then E, then I. In the lower self, it's 2, 3, and 4. In the higher self, okay, it's 6, 7, and 8. Everything is 20% away from this numeric value over here. It's the E world that's added on to 4, equaling to what is your I9, right? And then we're going to go here, right, I, and then we're going to jump over and go all the way. Should I be going to A on this side? Anyways, we're just going to, just let me not lose myself. I tend to lose myself when I start asking myself questions. Let me move over the shadow over here. So we did the gold, the silver, the bronze, and then we had what is noted to be runner up equals to 37. We have run is 39 and 14 is 53, and then 37 again. 14 and 23, 37 equals to 90, equals to January, equals to your birth. When we have TH, right, we have T. Where am I going to put this? We have T, and then we have H. This is what we have. We have time heaven, and it runs from 4, right, all the way to 20th. But there's different realities, different actualities that are happening as we climb up. We also have to understand now this is very big. I've never really put this in order. We have to understand our basic creation. A, B, C, D equals to 10, where we have A, B, C, right, which equals to 6 or 60 seconds on the clock, to where we have B, C, D, right, equals to 9 or 90 seconds on the clock. One is the birth clock, one is the light of life clock that we run into. We run both these systems inside of A, B, C, D, which is noted to be after the death, which some would say, or before the Christ. B, C, A, D. Now, this word over here, when it's spoken about, right, they would say, the French would say half instead of just af, and then terre equals to earth in French. I relate English and French to this relationship. Af, which is actually going to be the 1 and 6 on the dice, or the 6 and 1 on the dice, which is also noted as when you get 1 and 6 on the dice, you're also going to get the 8 and 3 void equals to 7 equals to 11. In this relationship over here, okay, it's not only A, B, C, D, A, B, C, and B, C, D, but there's also the I don't know what you want to call it. There's also A, B, D, right? There's also A, C, D inside of this. This one will equal to 7. This one will equal to 8. We're bringing in the B world with the C world through the after the death and before the Christ, between the two worlds together. This is your base gateway. When you have your base gate, it's this numeric value over here, which is associated to our creation. Our basic creation, alpha, beta. And then our creation comes into either you can use gamma or you can use gimel. The Greeks and the Hebrews, other than to how they used the basis of it for your C creation, which was the final of our base creation language, which is the English language, right? Notice the way it stops on C over here inside the Christ. The numeric value for Christ is 77. The numeric value for power is 77. If you want to go back to this numeric value over here where air and man come in, why number 7? What is number 7? Well, your base creation is 313. There's a link between the creation and I believe what is the recreation, where your 6 and 666 root that you came into life, because you are born on day 6, right? You come from the 9 into the 6. And there's a game called cribbage, where you get 6 and 6 cards, but each of the players give away 2 cards to create a 4-4-4, which is actually a 571. What this means is in 5 hours, in 5 segments of 71, each segment of 71 is 1 hour and 11 minutes. You can only see 5 sides to this dice. One will always be down. One will always be down. The same thing when you create the star. The multiplication and addition in this star will show you 4 different lines equaling to 8 directions. But in order to have movement, we're always going to remove one of the lines, and you're going to have this star and this star, and then you're going to have this star over here and this star over here. These are your 4 stars from this star over here. Each one of these stars, when they're connecting, will create your 1 and 9, 10, to your 1 spirit in your 9 birth through the E-world, to the creation of the 7th gate in the E-world, to the moon cycle creation of 28 in the house of Bait. The house of Bait is broken up into 4 areas, call it 420. And the French call it 420 right over here in the Bronze Age. It's 4 times 20 to equal to 80. How the French say 80 is 4 times 20. Time, heaven, creation, THC, teach creation through this format. Here is that star system. So either you're going to go 1937 with 46, and this is when you're asleep. You're going to be connecting this when you're asleep. When you're awake, you're going to be connecting this pattern over here. The 2-8 connection when you are awake, and the 4-6 when you're asleep. Unless we're misunderstanding everything, and the cube should be this way. Where do I get these numbers from? It's pretty simple. They're given to us right over here. I do it the other way. There's a difference between the ATM, the telephone, and the calculator. There's a difference. So what we're going to do now is, this is in blackjack. You stand on 17. In order to have 17, we need creation. 3 plus the band, right? The band is 4-1, right? 4-1, 3-6. So you spin it around and you have 4-1, 3-6. Notice the way the 6 is this way? This is when you're awake. Notice we have the 2 on top here, or the 5 on top here, equaling to 7 when you're awake. When you're asleep, right? Lying across your bed, you're going to be this way. Also, we can take another look if you want to see this, is what happens. If you thought they were making bricks for nothing out of the straw man, right, down the time of Moses, which was the word, it was created like this, the bricks. And inside of this, right, you notice it's halfway through the brick, right? Halfway through the brick. Here's your 5. And then your other way is your 2. This is your 5-2-7. At the same time, it's an H and an I. You can see the I over here supporting the brick above and the 1 below. To the H, okay, you see the H over here? The H and the I come together to create that star system, which is coming out of Mars. How does the star system come out of Mars? Well, the reverse alphabet of M, okay, is N. The reverse of A is Z. The reverse of R, look at that, I have to spread out the 2 worlds, is I. The reverse of S, and note, this is a very special letter. It brings 2 worlds together. It brings the world of 9, 11 together, but as a number, it is also a word. 9 is a divided gate. 4 times 2, 4 plus 2 is 8 and 6. And when it's with 11, it becomes 18 and 9 equaling to 27. 9, the house of bait. Here is your 27. If you take a look at the two corners here, you have that. You have 7 in between. So you're going to be looking at, we'll just finish off the basis of this design, right? And now we have 7 in between, right? We have this area in between. So we're going to color in this, right? And encompassed in it is the 7th gate within our life right over here, where we have 3, 1, and 3 coming together, right? When we connect it and look at it this way, this is actually telling me about 515. Where do I see this? Well, V in Roman numerals is 5. And a singular line in Roman numerals, right? Although it's the 9th letter, it's also valued at 1 or 1V1. If you want to look at it that way, which is 20% of 5 is 1 minus and plus. This numeric value will set up to be and it'll be broken down CD or DC. If it's the Hebrews writing this, it's from this direction this way. If it's the English and other languages or different languages, some write this way, some write this way. If we're looking to our base C creation, we're going to mark number 29, or if it's divided heavens, we're going to mark number 24. The reason for that is this numeric value, although it goes to Earth, it also goes to rabbit. And in rabbit, I have the ears. And those ears are my communication, which are the antennas. Right? The antenna, 15, 51. 33 by 47 equals 15, 51. The rotation of time in the sun, which is 3 times 3, 9, or 3 plus 3, 6, will create that base formation, which is the percentage sign found on the 5 key of your telephone. And when you look at it, that's right, it creates my base hexagon, also noted to be Jack. And I like to call it Jack because of the 6 lines or the 6 eyes. When we connect the next area over here, the finishing of the star, we now lock it up. This is where the queen comes in. When the king is in, we only use one of the lines connecting to the star system, either this one or this one. When the queen is in, we connect them and it becomes a lock. No more movement. When the queen comes in, not when the king comes in. I like to call this my star connect, right? The 2 systems. The 9/11 system. You know, the towers, we had 2 towers, then we put 1 tower in between to lock up 2 towers. It's the 9/11 system. If you note, right, we have 1 and 8 equaling to 9. We have 2 and 7 equaling to 9. We have 4 and 5 equaling to 9. We have 3 and 6 equaling to 9. So if we take a look at this, we leave out the 9. We leave out the 9, right? Now, let me see if I have my other marker down here. I got my green one. When we create the 11, right, we have the 2 and 9, 11. Remember, everything begins with 1 and 2, right? A and B is your base creation. Then we have the 3 and 8 equals to 11. We have the 5 and 6 equals to 11. And we have the 7 and 4 equals to the 11. You see the way this lamed goes up? When we write down 365 days, 0.47, if you say, well, there's 365.25 days, but what about time for the clock and rotation? The 0.22 that you do not see, or the 22nd letter for life, is V. The reverse is E5 for the E world that we are living in. The 1 times 2, 1 plus 2 equals to 3 and 2, or 2 and 3. And that is that E world noted to be BC. C is going to go with F6, and B is going to go with 7G. We're just going to put 7F. And it's ironic that when you design this over here, let's make it fully square, right? And we put the 2 lines on top. We can see the picnic table. We can also see 7, 1, and 6. The A letter is a dividing letter. It's a D over a C. When you split this, you have the left angle, the right angle, and now you see the pyramid of what DC has created between, which is also a connection between. When it's split, we have the I on top, right? The I is over here, right? Above and below, the I above, the I below, and it's also the H letter that comes into this scenario. What this A does is there's the left side and the right side. It's a divided house. The ace, A, C, and E, the divided house where C and A equals to what is D, the 10 house. A, B, C, D equals to 10, where we run 60 seconds on, although our birth runs to 90. Now, are we going to count it as 3 20s equaling to 60? 4 15s equaling to 60? 5 12s, like on the ruler, equaling to 60? All this needs to be discussed. We need to go over it, and not the final word. We noticed how the 9/11 system came together. We also still have to come back and see if I was on this side. We were talking about the 9/11 over here, to where the 9, 4 times 2, 4 plus 2, will now play a role in where we have the divided gate of creation, the 3, the 4, 3, 2, to what is 8 and 6, the divided gate in the house of Mecca, the house of Kaaba, right over here. Okay, I'm going to turn this around, and I've seen a question over here. It hurts my brain also. What grade is this? There is no grade. I just, 20 years ago, I started having visions and dreams, and it was showing me different ways to look at the alphabet. In fact, it started maybe 45 years ago, maybe a little bit more, when I started to have scary dreams, and the scary dreams were the alphabet and numbers, and they just kept popping up there. So I really don't have any basic schooling. I learned everything off of the alphabet, calculator, and basics of shapes, understanding how to logically look at different things, how we can see where Earth and Mars, what the relationship with Earth and Mars. Anyways, just let's make a long story short. I don't know, now that you mentioned this, Mars is number 51. Earth is number 52. So when I see a 2, I think of 2 dots. And between the 2 dots, I have to connect a line. So I know right away I need a line for Earth and I need a dot for Mars. So would that mean 101, where the pencil is up, or this way, on and off? Or when you look at the hexagon, right? When you look at the basis of the hexagon, you have these 2 connecting here, right? In which is going to be the Earth, and then you have these 2 over here is going to be Mars. So now, my next relationship to understand this is going to be the Mars window. Call this 22. Call it 2 squared, 2 cubed, equaling to what is 4, equaling to what is 8. Earth is going to have the separation in between, right over here. Call that Earth creation, call that 33. So 3 squared is 9, and 3 cubed is 27. Using the 9 of the 27, when you cube it, you end up with Rubik's Cube. This is your base of Rubik's Cube. It has 27 areas in Rubik's Cube, right? But there's one area in Rubik's Cube that you never get to see. It's the center area. There are 26 cubes in Rubik's Cube that go around this area. And it goes around this area in a fashion of 8, 8 and 18 equals to 26, plus the one area in the center. So the core, or the crossing area over here, is going to be 18 surrounding 1, equaling to a total of 19, bringing AI together, or two worlds together. In the understanding of what is 9/11, it is your AI. You ever see EN coming together, right? You ever see the EN or number 19 coming together? The 19th letter is S, right? That S brings two worlds together and also speaks about the plural. When you have an S at the end of a word, it means more than one. So if you have Mars, you also have the Ram as the first zodiac sign. It equals to 32. You have the pig as the last Chinese zodiac sign, equals to 32. If you put pigs or rams onto any of them, you equal to 51. Now you have the lamb, and now I'm getting a little off, and I think I'm going to lose you a little bit, and the wolf, right? Did you know the word lamb equals to 28 and wolf equals to 56? Your base creation of the number 3 is also 56, where the number 7, or horse, as the 7th zodiac sign, equals to 65. You can use them both ways. I'm just going to explain it to you. That one wolf is 2 lambs, which is the cycle of our moon. Man is also number 28. And what's funny about that is it takes 4 by 7 to create it, and the numeric value for beast and time, right, are both number 47. Oh, very good, Tammy. Yes, we have N with entertainment. We also have it, how about at the end? And also D, how about Dan or DNA or NDA, non-disclosure agreement? Because the D, depending on where the letter is it's all ABC. There's only ABC. That's all we need is ABC, right? And to note that 3 times 1 is 3. 3 by 4 is 12. 1 and 2 is 3. 3 by 7 is 21. 2 and 1 is 3. 3 by 2 is 6. 3 by 5 is 15. 1 and 5 is 6. 2, 5, and 8. 6, 15, 24, FOX, Fox, right? Headquarters. Fox headquarters. I'm going to show it to you right over here. See the 24th letter, right, is going to give me 5 and 3 equals to 8. So if I go to 5 and 1 equaling to 6, right, over here, you're going to have 6 and 2 equaling to 8. And if we have 2 and 4 equaling to 6, we're going to have, well, that's a 5 and 3 equals to 8. So 2 and 4, oh, right. And if we have 3 and 3 equaling to 6, we're going to have 4 and 4 equaling to 8. Now let's take that math a little bit further, and if I didn't finish with this, it's okay. Maybe I'll keep it, maybe I won't, but what I will show you at 9/11 is the mathematics and star system of 1 times 1 equals to 1. 1 plus 1 equals to 2, and that becomes your basic creation. Your 9/11 now becomes 9 and 3. Now remember this, it's 9 and 3 or 3 and 9, it's irrelevant, right now, but it's relevant. The word angel equals to 39. The word 10 equals to 39. 10 is your base creation in the divided world. You're 1 in 9, 10. The one spirit of the 9 birth. Your half-life, 1.5 times 4 equals to 6. Your half-life birth, 4 and 6, Zion, Israel, 0, the operator, controller of the moon. Year 3 and 7, 10, the dividing of the 7th gate through what is 80. 2 times 4, 2 plus 4 is 86. Number 7 fits right over here. 5, 7, 9, 6, 7, and 8. When you go by 2s, you're talking about circumference to the core. Inside the house of Bait, the divided sun. You know that 12 and 1 equals to 13. You know that 11 and 2 equals to 13. You know that 10 and 3 equals to 13. This is where our cycle comes in. The base of the cycle where the cube divides is between 3 and 4 and 9 and 10. 9 and 10, 19 also brings in your birth and the divided sun. Isaac and Abraham. Now, how do 1, 2, 3 divide? Let me show you this. Yes, 13 is also a beat, Tammy. So what we have is we have A, B, C, 3 sides to the dice. And then we have D, E, F. But when we have this, the 3 and 4 divide on each other. The B and E, the 2 and the 5, the 2 and the 5. There's my next 7. And then we get the 1 and the 6. The 1 and the 6. And that's my next 7. So the relationships are always going to tell the truth to the story. So now what we did here is you have 1 and 5 equals to 6. And what you have inverted to that is you have 6 and 2 equals to 8. So we're going to show you this in a minute, right? And then you have the 2 and 4 equaling to 6, right? And you're going to have the 5 and 3 equaling to 8. Pretty smart, eh? And then what you got, right, is you have the 3 and 3 equaling to 6, where you have the 4 and 4 equaling to 8. Nothing to do with me, but these two instruments will always tell me that their truth to where you get your 4 and 4 will equal to 3 and 3. Where you have the 2 and 4 equals to 6, you will have 5 and 3. Where you have the 1 and 5 and 6 and 2, and these are the extremities, the 1 and 5, when the 1 and 5 equals to 6 and 2, the queen is number 62. The card is number 26. The game where the soul is in the game at the 7th gate. And that G7, right? That G7 is going to be 16, 25, 34 equals to 7, equals to 7, equals to 7. Each one of these is going to tell you a different story and a different layer to where it is located. These are very special. Remember the 7 and the 9, PQRS, WXYZ, 98, 70, 53 and 17, 72 and 26. And the reason I did this way is it's Q17 and Z26 equals to 8 equals to 8. Reason I did this is these two, right? If you go to your ATM machine, you will find that the Q and the Z are together. And that'll equal to 43. Or how about DC? In fact, HQZ, which is noted to be 888, is numeric value 51, which holds the vibration of 432, right, to planet Earth. H and Z, your hertz. 88, which is also 43, right, equaling to 7. The 7th gate is now on number 1. When you note that the 1 value, right, is from this position over here, the 7th gate controlled within the moon. So I'm just taking a 1 second break. I'm going up to grab myself something to drink, ponder about a few things. I'm going to come down and explain to you a few more things about these cubes. Give me about 90 seconds. I've been here for 45 minutes, and I deserve a break today. Just give me 2 minutes. I'll be back. If you have any questions, do not hesitate. Any number you want. 1776. Why July 4th? Why Valentine's Day? Why do we have the leap year? What happens on the 29th day? April 1st, noted to be April Fool's Day. What happens in September on the 273rd day? The deck of cards, or the 52 cards, or the 52 weeks. Why the extra two jokers? Why do we have the black and the red? What does it do? The positive and the negative, the game of roulette, the game of blackjack, the game of craps, soccer, baseball, football, hockey. There's all relationships in these numbers with precise answers to each one of these. 8, 10, 80. Yes, October, if you want, we're going to bring this up. We're going to bring up October. We're going to bring up September. Why in the word SEPT for the word September, which note that September equals to 103. Remember 1 and 3, right? The 3 years in the 1 year to the leap year, to the 31, 13, 31, to the 13, 31, 13. All these numbers, 666, 888. It doesn't matter what it is. 12 inches to a ruler. Why 10 yards? Why the CFL versus the NFL? The 3 downs and the 4 downs. Why the 6 points for the touchdown? Why the 3 points for the field goal? Why did they just bring in number 2? What is happening on the moon? Why the A letter divides everything up? Why is it just AB, ABC, Jackson 5? Why is it all these? I have stories for every single one of them, right? And I'll be back in a minute. Okay, how's everybody doing? Cheers. 14 and 31, also to note, now that you brought that up, is the separation in the alphabet is between the 13th and the 14th letter. The separation of these cubes is the 13th and 14th letter, but there's a separation to where we have three sides of this cube, 1, 2, 3, right? When you turn a cube, what do you call this movement from here to here? Is that a 90-degree movement? But if I flip it upside down, it's a 180-degree movement. So the movement, right, of rotation, or the rotation, is 45, or 22.5 to 45 to 67.5, right? Then over to 90, and then we're going to go to, of course, we're going to continue on until we get to 180. The thing about that rotation is 3 times 6 equals to 18, or 180, or 3 plus 6 equals to the 90. So everything else is a movement, or a partial movement in between. Just to note that the first 3 prime numbers, right, is 23.5, which brings us on to the 47. 235 times 2 is 47. Beast, time, energy, Messiah, Muhammad, Jesus. The star system math, what helps me to increase or decrease the value of the number by using a multiplication or an addition. And also note that when you use the 2 together, it's going to create what is either the 2 lines, 4 directions, or the 4 lines, 8 directions, and we also have the in-between directions. So what we're going to do is we're going to go backwards right now, go back to what I was talking about. Equals to 11. 6 times 6 plus 2 equals to 12, and 8 equals to 20. 2 times 4, 2 plus 4. 5 times 3, 5 plus 3. 3 plus 3, 3 times 3. 4 times 4, 4 plus 4. Equals 24, equals to 15. Now, if you run down here, if we want to do the letters, we can do all the letters, right? Right. But before we do the letters, just give me a second. K and T. At the same time, we're going to get P and G. Here we're going to get N and M. Here we're going to get W and D. Here we're going to get O and L. And this one over here, we are going to get X and C. We're going to get sex, low. Here's all my numbers that show up, right? The 24th letter, the 15th letter, the 23rd letter, the 14th letter, the 20th letter, the 11th letter. The reverse alphabet are the letters that I drew up. Then there's the addition, the B, the E, the E, the B, B, E, E, right? The F and the F. If you notice, 1 and 1 is 2, is 2. 1 and 5 and 6 and 2, it's just ironic. 1 and 5 and 6 and 2, 6 and 2 and 1 and 5, and the math is perfect. To the 2 and 4, and the 5 and 3, to the 2 and 4 and the 5 and 3, both number 5. To the 3 and 3 and the 4 and 4, 4 and 4, reverse 3 and 3, and we get this. 6 and 6. So what we get is 2, 2, 5, 5, 6, 6, 2, 5, and 6. And this is your relationship to 8 and 6, the divided gate, where we have headquarters 51, numeric value for Mars puck, could be on ice, and it'll be blue. And it's connected to the stick who controls the puck, 62, also related to the queen. Right? When you put the game and the queen together, you get 88, which is purple, which is window, which is Pegasus. When you get purple, you get the red and the blue. When you get the fox, and then you get what's the reverse? It's fox headquarters. Fox 45 to the headquarters. The total is 96 in rotation of 33, which is the sun system. Sun is numeric 54, and it's a divided system. Here's one side of A, here's the other side of A, and the reason for that is A represents ace in the deck of cards, S is 19, right? Which implements not only A, but it implements S and I. The French say 10, 9 in order to say 19, which although it's 19, it can also be A1, 10 minus 9. When we use the U, it's the 21st letter. So now we have A1 and C. And when we use N, it's the 14th letter. We now have E. We have the A sun. It's divided between the left side and the right side. And this is where we get the high heaven divided sun, if you've been following me to understand this right now. Now we noted that the alphabet divides at 13.5, again, A, C, E, where 13, okay, or understandably noted to be what is the 3 and 1 equals to the 4 years of what they call the leap year. When you get February of the 29th day. So in my interpretation, right, this would be the first day, right? Well, I like to put it like the key, like Cleveland, right? Or just let's put it cycle. And the 29th would be the first day, and then February 28th, you end your first year, and then February 28th, you end your second year, and then February 28th, you end your third year, and then February 28th, you end your fourth year, and then on February 29th, you start your new cycle, where the 13 and 31 and 13 equals to 57, to where the 31 and 13 and 31 equals to 75. Moon, Hines, electric, to where 12, which is noted to be the bat mitzvah, to where the 13 is noted to be the bar mitzvah. Mitzvah, bat's mitzvah, bar mitzvah, up we go. Where this will end up being a relationship to V and E, and this will be a relationship, this will be a VEC, maybe, probably, possibly the vector, Tor meaning in Taurus, and this one over here is going to be what is GTD, their polarity to each other according to the 4D and the 3C, where the 13 ends up implementing G and Mars, where the E world comes to be the female. Where do we get this? 1 times 2, 1 plus 2 equals 3 and 2 equals to what is 5, to where 1 and 3, 1 times 3, 1 plus 3 is 4 and 3 equaling to 7. So let me just take a 2-second turning around this camera. Yes, so when you say deaf, okay, now we're going to get back to it. There's always a question. Should I use the first letter of the three letters to tell what story? That we come into the mirror world of 11? The DE is 9. The EF is 11. The 9/11 world coming together. Also to note that this can also be um, given to us by M and K, MK, because M is an association of 1V1 equaling to 456, 456 equaling to what is DEF. The reverse alphabet of DEF is going to be, just one second, the reverse alphabet of DEF is going to be W, V, and U, right? And it's ironic that in Chaldean, right, they use the U, V, and W as 6, 6, and 6, to where I'm not really sure. I think the D is for the E in Chaldean. I don't remember where its relationship is. It could be 5. The F, if I remember correctly, it's in the 7th position. No, it's in the 8th position with P, right? P represents the half-life. And noted that when you have P, you have to look at this and this. The 16th letter is P. It's 2.5 away from the core of 3.5. That's your creation of the E world, according to this cube. So we were talking about the alphabet dividing at 13.5 to note that the 13 ball is the orange ball, which is a mixture of the red, which is noted to be the backside of the car, watch out, take precautions, and the yellow I also noted as the yellow light, another way of taking precautions coming up to the red or the yellow light. Red is 27 equals to 9, yellow is 92 equals to 11. You're going to bring the 2-7 world and the 2-9, your birth, your gateway, and your birth together, right? The 9 is first, it's on the upper level, and the 7 is, sorry, let me show you it this way. The upper and lower level. To note again that the 9, I'm just trying to remember where I'm going to put this in, that the 7 and the 9 are special. When you go to the ATM, the Q, which is on the 7th key, is removed, where we once had 70, okay, a gateway on the 7th key, right? We now have a 5 and 3, electric company, any craps. Let me see if I can show you this over here. Let me see, right over here. The Q and the Z have been removed, the 7 key and the 9 key. Now, the 7 or 17, right? In French, 17 is noted as 10 and 7, equaling to 17, but can also be for a child. Remember, we're still the children of creation. We're still learning, which can also be 0-3, right? So your Mars creation or your base of Mars creation, why do I call 17 your base of Mars creation? Because all creation, in order to get your AB to function, you need to put 1 between 2. So everything becomes 3. So I multiply and I divide and I do all my work based off of 3, or the invert of what 3 is 4. I work everything here. The end of this dice cube, or the totality of this dice cube, is 21 dots. There are 21 dots. There are 54 area spaces, 9 per side, the same calculation as this calculator. Okay, if you can explain that Baphomet, I think that's some kind of demon or devil. Whoops meant Bathsheba. I still have to understand that. So now we're going to go, if you're going to go to Bathsheba, the first thing it tells me is Sheba's like a dog, Bath, which would be the alphabet of creation, but instead of ab, like absent or abnormal, you're your basic, so we have to understand that the utilization between A, B, and BA. The TH is your time heaven. I'm just trying to look, but your SH is a reverse alphabet. They come together. You see, that's really cool, is that SH comes together as the reverse alphabet, to where you need A will be inside of B in order to create. Your S also brings in your birth, brings in your AI system. The Bathsheba begins with BA and it ends with BA, and inside is TH, SH, and E. So she and he is in the word. And since bath or baths of Heba, when you say the word Heba, you can also say male father, other than what is Sheba, and beginning with the S, again, bringing two systems together, right, to the she of he, which means the S and she is what's a divided system. It's a divided female system in which, according to my work, use the moons to bring this all together. And if you want to go back to the letter A, which can also be a D and a C coming together, what I'm not really sure where to put this. To where we note this over here. We have the singular moon of Luna, anal to cancel, anal, Luna, cancel, of the two moons, the demon and the phobia moons. The moon, well, I didn't take this name from anywhere. If you look up online right now, you will see that the moons of Mars are named Deimos and Phobos. And those are the dogs barking. Possibly I'm going to have to end this video very shortly. Or just a girl taking a bath while being in the eyes of David the king. I like to use David as a dividing word. After the death, the mirror word. King is number 41, which is also AD, bringing again two worlds together. So where were we with this piece over here? Yes, the orange ball in pool, which brings the yellow and the red together, also bringing the soul with the spirit within the soul. In this area space right in front of me, which brings up February, right? February 29th. When you have February 29th, April 1st becomes the 92nd day, to where September 29th, right, becomes the 273rd day. Now, what does this have to do with anything? It just so happens that your âme, also noted to be what is the soul, A-M-E in French means soul. You wake up in the A.M., in which the A.M. begins at night, to where man was created during the day. So it's dividing the night and the day. Okay, so 44 and 33, dividing the night and the day and the sun. 3 times 3, 3 plus 3 will equal 6 and 9. So you're coming into from your birth into the day of creation. Your 4 times 4, your 4 plus 4 is 16 and 8 for the 24 hours a day, to where 16 is 2 times what 8 is, to the 8 hours a night, and the 16 hours a day, to the divided gate, 2 times 4, 2 plus 4. On the 273rd day, which is September 29th, is 91 times 3. When you add up A through M, it equals to 91. There are 13 cards per suit. We need 3 to make your base creation equals 273, which happens on the 29th of September, the 9th month. The 9th month, in a word, September, the word scepter, also says 9 and 7. September, the 9th month, also to note it to be the mirror worlds, A, December, November, October, and then you get September. So back forward, it's 9. Backwards, although it's the 9th month, from December to November to October to September, it becomes the 4th month. clockwise and counterclockwise. Even if you see me doing this counterclockwise, I would have to be doing this to be going clockwise. We also have that April 1st, the 92nd day, is it's after the 91st day, and it's your first completion, right, of the first 91 days, your first completion of one suit in the deck of cards. Now, if I said that everything began on February 29th, right, and I went 91 days, I would have to be 31 in March. Let me do this. March 31, April 30, May 31. So on May 30th, right, which would, just give me 1 second. Let me see if the dogs are okay. Oh, I was doing my video down here. Okay. I'm gonna, yeah, okay. Okay, so where was I with this? So that would make May 30th. So that would be 5-5-3. 1 would be the beginning of the next day, and 5-3-1 says ace, so it actually works out perfectly over here. So that would make, if we start off from January 1st, April 1st becomes the 92nd day. It's the completion, okay, of the first 13 cards in the deck, which now the word spirit is 91. If I add that on, which brings in AI, which brings in S, which brings the birth into both the 9/11 world. And that's one of the things that goes on, is after the 91st day, the spirit now enters into the new child in the womb. And we're going to end it right here now. It's been an hour and 12 minutes, and we're going to maybe pick up a little bit later on at night. Peace and love. Thank you for watching.